I don't even know who's starting for us. Welcome into the Leon Center, the scene for the 35th edition of the annual Carr-Harris Cup Challenge here in the Limestone City. I'm Alan Atmansky along with Fraser McAlpine, and it's great to have this rivalry back here at the Leon Center after what was a 2-year hiatus due to the COVID pandemic.
Absolutely, Alan. I'm so glad this game is back. I know the city of Kingston's very happy to have this game back. It's a great tradition in the youth sports, great tradition in Kingston hockey, and it's you circle this on the calendar every year.
Lots at stake in this one, on top of the annual Lenny Trophy that will be handed out, and that's a playoff spot for the Queens Gaels. They'll need a win to keep in those playoff hopes alive. Well, RMC would love nothing more than to dash those hopes. It is a big crowd on hand for this one. Both student bodies love to take it in and circle it on the calendar, and why wouldn't you? It's a great celebration of university hockey in the Limestone City, and you will hear throughout the game this evening, the student bodies will go back at each other just like the two teams on the ice.
Oh, it's just going to be we got military bands here. We got sea green of camo. We got the tricolor, and we're about to drop the puck.
Our officiating crew for this one, the linesman Mitch Minette and Marco McRae. Taking care of the penalties, Brad Moore and Shane Wanamaker as we get this one going, and Queens dumping it into the RMC zone. That Tsukamoto tried to pull that one off the boards, could not. It's Kingston kid Jack Duff with it right into the body of Coltart. Tsukamoto swarmed in, and he lost it to Jacob Paquette, former Frontenac and Ice Dog. Feeds it to Matthew Hotchkiss, who spent his OHL career split between the Fronts and the Guelph Storm. Back there for Queens is former France captain and now Queens captain Ryan Cranford. Into the corner, lost that one as Noah Rowe, the RMC captain, played it out to the neutral zone. There's Tsukamoto, he's got Smith on the left wing, just past behind him. Smith able to find that and throw it in behind the Queens net. There's Paquette, fresh off an appearance at the FISU University Games, taking home the gold medal. Near side of the ice, a soft dump in by Owen Lalonde is retrieved by Joey May. Left wing pass, missed Saint, and then it's bobbled in there. Finally, they get this under control, and it will be settled by Hutchison. He brings his man down, kicks the puck loose. It's in front of the net. Joey May wrangles that one in, and it will bring us to our first stoppage, where we'll take a look at this evening's starting netminders. And why don't we start with the RMC Paladins netminder, and it's Joey May. He has been their rock all year long, getting another nod in the white with red trim. And for the Queens Gaels, they will go with Luke Richardson, who too has been the gentleman to see most of the action for the tricolor this year. Off the wall, a quick touch play, and there's a shot from Hutchison that's kicked aside by May at the line. Lalonde backing off, couldn't get enough to keep that one in, and the Gaels will push reset. Jacob Bratney, rink-wide feed, missed everybody. Now Dylan Wells will have to make a play. He is bumped softly by Robert, and then Hutchison a little more ferociously. From the line, Lalonde May, a good save. Slapped back in by Trevor Longo as he took a shot upstairs. They'll dig away behind the net, and finally located by Rowe. Connects with Spratt, who now will start up ice. He's at the center stripe, still has it 1-on-2 with no help. Both teams in the midst of changes right now, which would be why nobody there to help him, so he'll hold on to that one, takes a walk along the line, and almost had his pocket picked by the swarming Dalton Dewar. It's dumped in on Richardson and thrown aside for Bratney, who now will march this one out. From center, right on Meg, credit another stop to the netminder, and then fired around by RMC out to center ice, pulled in by Longo, found Katzele, who now will dodge the check of McNaughton. Played right into Austin Saint, though. He'll come off the right circle. Saint shot. Richardson the stop. Big rebound let out, and the Gaels find it. In at the goal line, Lucas Perrick to the left wing. Cutting back across the grain was Duarte. Stalled but kept up ice, and now he'll break in over the blue line. Trailing him was Curtis. Finds it in the right corner. Left it to Duarte, who now will drive it to the line. Jack Duff to his partner Paquette. That one looked towards the net, but missed, and will bounce to Duarte. He's tangled up with Brock McNaughton, one of the RMC players who had his father play for the Paladins. And then he's dumped by Duff, and that creates a turnover as Jacob Paquette brings it through diagonally into that right corner. Arriving quickly on the scene is Cousins. Curls from the corner, tried to hit Sermon coming off the dot. That one was blocked by Broaders. Puck up for grabs. Who wants it? Queens does. Logan Lesage throws it towards the net, and again a wide drive from Queens. Here's Cousins to find it. Lesage parked in front. Kicking it free will be Will Sermon. Comes up the wall. He takes a hit from Noble. The RMC contingent appreciative, and then a big stop by May in there, as Will Sermon thought he was going to be the one to open the scoring here in the 35th Carr-Harris Cup. Blocker save from May. Broaders, no connection there to get it out. Another wild shot towards the RMC net. Shots right now 5-1 for Queens. Another stop with the paddle by May. Off the flank, it's Perrick. Through. Near boards Cranford in the hunt for it. Now Hotchkiss will locate that one. Runs right into his numerical counterpart and then keeps on ticking. Ryan Smith trying to keep tabs on him. Hotchkiss still with it on his stick. Just tosses it behind the net. Chasing it down in there will be Campbell. He was awarded Most Outstanding Graduating Player, the Fitzel Award, before the game, along with RMC's captain Noah Rowe. A nice new addition to this Carr-Harris Cup tradition, and RMC now will split the D and clear this one down. Richardson with a quick pass up for Lalonde, who then let that one roll through. Hotchkiss Cranford into the Paladin zone, as well as is bumped off it by the oncoming Campbell. Wells got away from that hit and then floats it through neutral territory. Missed the oncoming Austin Saint, and this will be an icing charge against RMC. Almost 5 minutes without a whistle. Good pace so far.
It's a great start for the Queens Gaels. You're in must-win territory if you're in the tricolor. A loss to the RMC will knock you out of the playoffs. So they have a great start so far. A lot of rubber towards Joey May, and RMC has to weather the storm here in the first 10 minutes.
As we've seen many times this year, Joey May standing tall early for the RMC Paladins, and maybe that could spark them as they work through this first period, and the chance of RMC ring out at the Leon Center. This one will be dumped in by Queens. Trying to get to it was Nolan Hutchison. He falls in the process, and RMC will counter. Pascal to Hebert, and over the blue line and off the glass. That bounces into the crease, and Richardson doesn't want to mess around with that one, so he'll smother it and take the stoppage.
Again, if you're RMC, you've got to weather the storm in the first 10 minutes. Queens is going to come out and try to bury you in the first 10 with this big crowd. You got cheerleaders here, you got the bands here. You know, you just got to weather the storm against a very strong Gaels team that needs to win.
And I know RMC out of the playoff picture right now, but how sweet would it be for them to come up with a win to kind of spoil their crosstown rivals' playoff hopes? Everybody says, well, they're out of the playoffs. What's there to play for? There's a whole lot when you get to the Carr-Harris Cup.
Absolutely. You're playing your crosstown rival, and the chance to knock them out of the playoffs, make sure they don't win a Queen's Cup. That's great for RMC.
Alex Robert to Hutchison, and then return to Robert. Coming late to the party on the wing was Trevor Longo, and lost it in his skates. RMC can't clear. Robert to Longo. He was on the left circle. Pumped it back in, and now RMC will take that space and break out. The pass for Holtrop missed. Out to center, there's Katzele. Dodged the check, got to the blue line. RMC fires it back. There to retrieve it with a peek over his shoulder is Trevor Longo. He gave it to Katzele, up on the wing to Curtis. He'll bear down on walk. Curtis for Katzele, low blocker save from May, and then another one there off of a streaking Duart. Two chances for the Gaels there as they're nearing 10 shots in the opening 10 minutes. They're in the hunt for another one there. Curtis lost it though. Duff off the blue line to the wing for Duart. They'll play a little game of catch he and Curtis before Duhart circles. At the line, Duff will walk, fires upstairs on May, hops on the rebound, and a fantastic job by Joey May in there as the Queens Gaels relentless right now on the forecheck.
Joey May is a very solid goaltender. His first game he ever played in the red and white was against Queens in the Lou Jeffries game, and he beat them 4-1. He was on fire that game, and he's been on fire against Queens ever since. Big, strong goalie with a low center of gravity, and he's able to get pucks.
The former St. Stephen County Aces has kept RMC in many games they had no business being in, and sometimes that's all it takes is your goaltender to make one big stop, and then you can take it from there. RMC wins this defensive draw. Out to center, Broaders, Smith, and then in they go. Duff along the goal line to the left wing side. Lesage tied up, can't maneuver that one. It's out at the center circle, slap back in on Richardson. He'll leave it to Jack Duff, former Erie Otter captain. Coming through is Will Sermon. Brother Thomas plays for the Ottawa 67s. Duff to Paquette, bounced off his body. Duff keeps coming through. He'll drag it on his backhand, almost ran himself into the net. There's Hebert to slap it up the boards. Lesage put it into the referee, and then he's flattened for his troubles. Behind the net, grinding it along the boards is Colton Cousins. Got some help in there from the Fitzel winner, Duncan Campbell, who left it to Lesage, ripped on, and May stopped that. Near side of the ice, flipped out by Wells as it bounced away from Broader's stick. Starting it up ice, Jacob Bratney, Duncan Campbell, brought down by Larrabee with a free arm, and Queens wanted a call. They're not going to get one. Larrabee, Wells out to center. They missed that connection, and it will roll into the Queens slot. Up to Campbell, swinging through was Hotchkiss. They elect to find Ryan Cranford at the line. He's just softened into the boards. Cranford to Bratton. He was off the skate. Now he'll come back to it. The shot is there, but again, RMC doing a good job. They're giving up a ton of shots right now, but they're all from the perimeter, and Joey May can see them.
As long as Joey May can see the puck and make the first save, and the RMC defenseman can clear the puck out, then that's success for them, because Queens is a very strong team below the hash marks. They will grind you down. They will try to beat up on you. So Joey May can make the first save. RMC clears the rebounds out. They're in good shape.
For the first time in 3 years, this game returns, and maybe some nerves playing into the early stages of it. Waved out is Hayden Fowler, replacing him Nolan Hutchison. They'll lock up against Josh Spratt, but they're going to say that was done unfairly, so we get a round 3 from this one. Hutchison against Spratt to the right of May. They lock up each other. It's played free. Who will get it? It's Queens, right point. Longo hit hard by Leduc. Up to the blue line, Spratt. He's going to take a walk himself all the way over the blue line and then tried to hit Holtrop, but they had their wires crossed. Pulling this in is going to be Fowler out to center, pulled back in by Spratt. He'll get to Holtrop. Nobody following it though. Fowler will gladly take that one. Hits Longo with it. Now he'll carry. Longo on that left side from well out. Hit his defenseman in Michael Waugh. Waugh finds the rebound. Little shovel pass is there for McNaught and up to Will Murray. The Navan graduate in there throwing his weight around. Brother of former Frontenac and RMC Paladin Liam Murray. Curtis the other way for Queens. High slot. Right of the net. That one along the ice went skipping. He bears on him but can't win the battle. Katzele will shield that. He does well to open up some space in there down beneath the goal line. Feeds it off to Curtis, in on May, and he had to be quick as that took a last-second redirect and created some havoc on the doorstep.
One player I've noticed here in the first 9 minutes and 53 seconds is Dalton Duarte. He's taken the spot of Jonathan Niancis, who's a late scratcher in the game. Dalton Duarte played his OHL hockey with Saginaw. He has been all over the ice this first 11 minutes.
One of the guys Queens is going to have to rely on for success in this game, Hayden Fowler, the hometown kid, 22 games. He's got 20 points so far, 6 goals and 14 assists. Look for him to factor in the scoring tonight if Queens wants to get those 2 points and keep the playoff hopes alive. Here's Broaders off of a RMC face-off win. Out to Ryan Smith, but Curtis caught up to him at center. Katzele there to wrangle this one back. On the right wing side, fed in front. Puck bouncing around in there like a pinball. Finally, they get that one down, and the long stretch pass was intended for Tsukamoto, but Jack Duff stepped in. I don't think it would have mattered because I believe he was offside. Cousins just thrown into the wall by Tsukamoto. It bounces free to Dylan Wells. Mitch Larrabee tried to lob it out. He was hit hard. Sermon Lalonde has room. The shot made the stop. Rebound there, and Wells got back to Cousins. May's on the seat of his pants. Right side of the net. Larrabee finds the rebound, and RMC avoids danger, and they're going to get a power play out of this.
Will Sermon had an excellent chance to score here, but Colton Cousins' rear end stops the puck from going in the net. And now Colton Cousins will be going to the box for high sticking.
It was not intentional, but you do have to be in control of your stick.
My apologies, Logan Lesage going to the box.
Referee Brad Moore signaling high sticking, so the RMC power play is going to get an opportunity to open the scoring in the 35th edition of the Carr-Harris Cup. But it has been a sticking point this year for the Paladins. Just 9 goals on 66 outings, and they have surrendered a goal well up on the power play. Queens very good shorthanded too. 7 goals when they are down a man. So the Paladins have to be aware out there. And it'll start with a face-off featuring Ryan Smith against Ryan Cranford. Clean win for Smith. It arrives on the stick of Rowe. Spratt to the half wall. They move it back to the line. Josh Spratt to Noah Rowe coming off that backside. They'll station 2 men in front. There's a slap shot from Rowe. Hit a body and went off course all the way out to center ice. Josh Spratt pulls it in. Rowe back to Spratt. RMC missing one big tool in Chris Paquette, who is serving game 2 of a 2-game suspension from about a week and a half ago. Here's Broaders. Spratt now takes it through, and he got mixed up, so he'll double back and push reset on that attack. Now he'll come through with space to work with. Spratt left wing side. Missed Smith. Arriving to it, Hutchison. Paquette could cleanly fire that one out. It's on the wall. Duff's going to just freeze that one in there as we creep past the midpoint of the period. At the line, taking a walk, is Noah Rowe. Left point to the middle for Spratt. Rodgers from the knees, fired in, and Richardson makes a big stop, and then they give him a bump, and so we're going to see 4-on-4 here for 57 seconds.
Yep, can't touch the goalie, and referee want him. Brad Moore is right there, a goaltender himself. He'll make that call 9 times out of 10.
Another look at it here. Mitch Larrabee giving a bump to Luke Richardson. It put him out of position. The referee right there to see it in full view. And so now we get a little extra ice to play with, and you'd have to think that for the Queens Gaels, this works in their favor with big forwards who can maneuver with extra space.
Yeah, Queens is one of the better skating teams in the OUA East, and the more ice they use, the better.
Shot is blocked off of the face-off win, and marching it the other way is Mathieu Hebert to the slot. Shot in there, and Richardson got a piece with his stick, but didn't look comfortable, and then he grabs that one right there, point blank. He robs Devin Leduc of RMC's best chance.
Richardson is known for his fancy glove saves, a very calm, quiet guy off the ice, but makes some big saves on the ice.
Many who follow the OHL would have seen his handiwork during his days as a Kitchener Ranger, and the RMC faithful saw it there as Hebert fired the first one in. It went off his stick, and then the second one came from Leduc in the slot, and he turned that one aside as well. 30 seconds of 4-on-4 left as Queens breaks in over the RMC line. Hebert standing up Curtis, and then it's flipped out to center ice. Holden Katzelay for Jacob Bratney. He's got Curtis stationed at the offensive blue line, deflected in, so no icing. It's Hebert, left it in the corner, Cole Noble. No-look pass is on point for Austin Saint as Bratney angles him away. Skipping shot in there, kept alive by Richardson. He dropped it back there for Lucas Perrick as now it is a shortened Queens power play. Lesage rejoining his teammates, and they'll get this set up the way they like. Lalonde drop pass for Robert, who swings it to the middle for Fowler. Kept at center though by Ryan Smith. Back to it is Longo, now Lalonde. Owen Lalonde from the blue line. Nobody there to help him. Everybody's so clumped closely. Now they'll get it spread out, and Fowler will work his magic to Lalonde. Longo sets up for the shot. Didn't like what he had in front of him. Deals it off down low. It's back to Longo. Lalonde. Fowler from the left circle. Saucer pass, one-timer, and Longo's drive is kicked away by the pads of May. Lalonde from well out to Longo again, and then the same result as last time. Another kick save from Joey May. Here's McNaughton with a peek, saw he had space, gets to it, and fires it down ice. And that takes us to just 10 seconds to go in this Queens power play.
Great looks at the Queens power play there. Got 2 shots off, looking for Trevor Longo on the 1T side.
Cranford to the middle, Hotchkiss with it. From the slot, that one rode up into a face. RMC kills this one off. Fresh out of the box was Larrabee. Almost had a breakaway, but it was just a hair ahead. And Richardson will smother that one with 7:03 to go in period number 1. Your thoughts so far on what we've seen, Fraser?
Oh, this is a classic Carr-Harris game. The first period, you got the nerves. You're excited to play. You know, you have that adrenaline rush going, and then your first shift and all your energy is sapped. So you expect now the teams are starting to settle down, get in their games, and we are in for a good one so far. Joey May and Richardson are making some big stops already.
Shots heavily favored for the tricolor right now, 15-6, but that stat irrelevant. The only one that matters right now is the goals, and we have a deadlock at zeros right now. Flipped out by RMC in the hunt for it, Austin Saint. Jacob Paquette arrives first and will come to the right wing side and find Hotchkiss. Down the middle, Ryan Cranford back to Duncan Campbell. Trailing was Duff, didn't get it. They'll drop it again for Paquette. Wrist shot, hot shot at that. And in there to make the save was May again.
You know, Alan, you and I have seen a lot of Carr-Harris Cup games, and you remember the game years ago when Evan DeViller stole one. He made about 54 saves against a very good Queens team, outdueled Queens legend Kevin Bailey to help RMC win a Carr-Harris Cup a long time ago. So if you're Joey May, you're looking to make 50 saves to preserve the win here.
And funny you bring up Kevin Bailey. I did see him in the pregame. Lots of alumni from both sides taking it in. I saw Liam Murray from the RMC Paladins, Kevin Bailey from the Gaels.
Yeah, Bills would miss this for the world.
It's always one of those dates that everybody circles on their calendar, and if they can find a way to make it, they do. Behind the net, Perrick reverses the flow of things to Longo, and then he shake and bakes the oncoming RMC forward in Josh Spratt. Leduc for Spratt, though, who gets back into it. Snapshot and another. Both of those are blocked. And a third comes in. This time it makes it. Empty net. Richardson got there. RMC never had a third. Coltart from the blue line. Looking for the drive. That one hits a body left of the net. Spratt finds the rebound. Put it off the backside of Sermon. Now it'll be Cousins to Lesage and in. Cousins is the only Queens forechecker there, and he's given a face full of glove by Ethan Coltart. Around by Hebert. Austin St. deep off his wing, played it back to Hebert. Now they'll go to Coltart and out to center ice, kicked up to the stick by Owen Lalonde. St. is the tracker right now. They'll go behind the net to open up some space, and they get it. Here's Hutchison driving the middle. Robert Fowler back to Hutchison, and the stick of Pym sent that one from arriving on Nolan Hutchison's stick. He was set up for the shot and everything. Here's McNaughton up the wing. He's flattened in there by Hutchison at the line. Bradney high drive and made the shoulder. Back to the wing. It's on Bradney, and he had it get away from him. Scrambled to stop that from being an RMC breakaway and found Lalonde as an outlet. He's now got it. Lalonde from center ice, brought in by May. Wah started to skate it and then fed it to the captain. Rowe missed Tsukamoto, but they're waving the icing off. Richardson with the mitt to Paquette. Off the stick of Broaders at the blue line. Smith tried to play it to himself. Everybody's trying to throw it around in there. Finally, we get some semblance of a hockey game, and breaking in here are the Gaels. 5-hole on May, and it comes out the other side. A chance for Dalton Duhart, who has been good in the early 15 minutes of this first period. Almost had the game's opening tally. At center, Tsukamoto flattened by the much larger Jack Duff there as we get some physicality into this game. Duhart to Curtis. Back to Dalton Duhart, over skates it. RMC with a counterattack. Larrabee over the logo at center ice. Still has it as he comes over the blue line, dropped it. Pascal fanned on that. Noah Rowe into the action. Taken to the boards by Duff. Loose puck. Cranford finds it. He'll diagonally dump that one in. Larrabee helping out on the defensive side. Gets it to Wells. Wing pass is there, and then the streaking, sliding pass for Isaac Pascal missed, and icing's whistle against the Paladins.
That was a great series of play. RMC had a very strong offensive play, and then Queens came right back with this play here by Dalton Duhart. Tries to go forehand, backhand, but Joey May just closed the door, and then Jack Duff, a beast of a man, just nails Christian Tsukamoto. That won't be the last time Jack Duff lays some body here tonight.
Off the draw, Queens tries to break in, but they are stuffed on their way to the net, and the Paladins clear it out. This won't have enough for icing, so Trevor Longo has to make a play. He'll start it with the feet moving and then finds Matt Hotchkiss. Got away from him. Devin Pym up the right wing side. Holtrop, former Kingston Voyageur and Burlington Cougar. Back to Matthew Hebert. Hebert over the line. Little drop pass. Josh Spratt in the slot, was tied up by Hotchkiss, though. Never got the shot he wanted. Hotchkiss with some good defensive work there to tie him up. Hebert at the RMC blue line. A chip and chase from Leduc is broken up by Perrick, who then gave a gift to Holtrop. Loose puck up for grabs, played out by Hutchison. He's going to skate this. Nolan Hutchison drops the shoulder on Wall, lost the puck though as it goes to the goal line, and then it bounces in on May. He gives it a little bump, and the other way, racing it up ice, is McNaughton. Brock McNaughton, Joel Holtrop, in they go. Richardson steers it left corner for Bratney. He's hit in the process. Fowler back to it as Murray creating some havoc. Bratney to Lalonde. Numbers for the Gaels as they come in, but they run right into Ethan Coltart. Now Noah Rowe through his legs. Nice play there to find an opening. And then he turns it over. Quick shot from Robert is kicked away by the pad of May. Leduc to Murray. Pascal now joining the shot. Ryan Smith finds it. They try to sneak it glove side, and Richardson sealing the post with the skate kept that one out. Maybe RMC's closest so far.
Absolutely. There's been some weird plays around Richardson's net. He's had to make some back-bending saves just to try to hold the puck against the post here. The ice here at the Leon Center is okay. It's not the best. I play here every Tuesday night in men's league, so I have a little bit of expertise on it, but we'll see if they froze a little bit more. But this ice, the pucks will bounce here. It is very warm on the ice.
And the bounces off the glass and the boards are going to be a little different than what each goalie is used to. I know Queens practiced here this week to get used to it, but you've only got that short window to make those adjustments when you're used to the home ice at the Memorial Center.
Yeah, you only got one practice each year for both teams to get used to everything. If you have the advantage, I think Queens would have the advantage on playing here. There's a lot of ex-Frontenac's that played here, 42 games a year every year, so they would know how this ice works.
Curtis for the oncoming Dalton Duhart. And then that one into the netting and out of play, so another stoppage. And you make a great point there. Advantage Queens in that regard, Fraser, as the sheer number of former Frontenacs and former OHL guys who have played in this rink favors the tricolor.
Yeah.
One of them being Jacob Paquette, another being Matthew Hotchkiss.
And Lucas Perrick and Ryan Cranford would play here, and a lot of guys who play against the Fronts would play here 6 times a year as well. So they would know how this ice would work.
Perrick. Hard off the boards and down ice it's sent. May leaves it for his defenseman, Matthew Hebert. Nobody's home on the right wing position. The goal across the dots. Campbell had a close one, but Hebert's last second dive with the stick sent it into the glass. Now RMC gathers it out. Left wing side to Austin St. Back through the middle. Hebert pickpocketed as he tried to get a drive off. Here's Spratt. Wants open space. Draped all over him like a wet rug was Duncan Campbell. Now Hotchkiss with Cranford. High glove side attempted. Missed the target though. Out to center. Austin St. missed it. Jack Duff. He's got a laser if he gets it off, but this time elects just to chip and he'll chase that down. Behind the net to Hutchison. In front, Rowe pumps that one back in. 30 seconds to go in period number 1. Spratt to Leduc. 20 to go. Left wing side, bringing it away. Joel Holtrop, Duff on him, and he got a bunch of glass there as Duff used his size to his advantage and stopped that one in its tracks. Hutchison from well out upstairs on May, another stop to him. We've already seen 21 stops for Joey May, and that is not a miscount. That is how busy he has been.
And they haven't even been crazy. Let's say he's just been getting in front of the net and holding the rebounds as best he can.
You wonder if maybe Queen's mentality is just keep throwing them at him and sooner or later he'll tire out, kind of the old rope and dope.
Yeah, there's a game that was played back in October at the Constein Arena where RMC was up after 1, and the Queens had 29 shots in the second period. So just throwing shots at the net to see if what sticks. Joey May was not the goalie on record that game. It was Matthew Davis, but Queens will fire a lot of rubber at this goaltender.
RMC trying to get out of it. That's an icing charge to them. And it will be back to the right of May with just over a second left. To the bench goes Richardson as they try for the extra attacker. Fowler against Smith. They lock up. No shot comes, and the horn does, though. And that brings a close to period number 1. And the summary of it, a whole lot of Queens shots, but no goals yet. 0-0 through 20.
No, and the story of the first period was Joey May. Joey May is doing what he needs to do as a Paladins goaltender. Keep your team in it. Wait for a chance. It's been that story every year here at the Carr-Harris Cup.
RMC hoping they can be opportunistic when those chances arrive, but right now neither team has been able to cash in. 0-0 is your score through one period here in the 35th edition of the Carr-Harris Cup. We'll step out for a break in the first intermission and come back with the middle frame of tonight's contest. It's all deadlocked after one here at the Leon Center.
Ontario University Athletics has more than 4,000 female student athletes getting into the game. Some are playing for the little girl in the stands, aspiring to be a varsity athlete like them. Some are playing for the powerful group of allies that surround them both on and off of the field. And some are playing to show that talent, dedication, and hard work transcend the labels of gender. Many females, however, see their sport journey end during adolescence. For those who continue on, varsity athletics offers opportunity. It offers community. It's a means to not only continue your dream on the court, but excel beyond it. Because some student athletes may be looking to become Olympians and world champions. Some may see their passion for playing turn into a call for coaching. And some may aim to transform their athletics into prominent positions beyond the sporting world altogether. But for whatever their motives or goals, it's important to have the means to pursue them. It's important to feel like you can inspire the little girl in the stands, compete with your teammates, and break down any barriers to get to where you want to be. And above all else, it's important to remember that we are one.
It's a hockey-defining moment. Many hear the call, only a few ever answer it. But those who do vow to bravely defend the world's smallest kingdom, the 24 square feet of a hockey net. Every time you go in net, so do we.
Alone, I'm the last line of defense.
I am the difference. We are in net.
Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common: They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
This dressing room to me represents the school of life. The old coach I had in the late 90s used to say overnight success takes time.
This is the best league I've played in by far. Guys are smart, guys are skilled. You've got guys that are here to play and can play. Everyone in this league can play.
I played in Niagara Ice Dogs and the Peterborough Petes, and also I was drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning in the 5th round.
We expect our first years to contribute right off the bat. Starting from on ice, you have a chance to come in and play.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me in the recruiting process. Getting the chance to step in as a first year and contribute right away is big.
We ask a lot of our student athletes. We're a leadership college, so we expect everyone to be a leader. It's demanding, but it sets them up to be key members of that culture, and so they can be drivers of the bus and not just followers at the back. We don't just skate by, we skate through.
Being a small school in such a high level of competition for hockey brings a level of adversity, and I think that adversity creates bonds, camaraderie, and friendships that are so powerful. I think that this is what makes this program stand out from all others.
Kingston's a gorgeous city that our student athletes get to enjoy. It has tons of history. All the buildings on the exterior are very historic, but everything inside has been updated, and they are all state-of-the-art for the classrooms and dorm rooms, as well as our dining halls and our cadet mess where they can relax, watch TV, watch hockey games, play some pool. Almost all the dorm rooms have a sight line to the water. The campus is a one-stop shop, might be one of the most picturesque campuses in Canada, with it being a peninsula in Lake Ontario.
Being on the peninsula, gorgeous. It's a university city, top to bottom. The city of Kingston is awesome.
As a cadet, tuition, room, board, food, it's all covered. So student athletes coming here, they come out debt-free. They actually receive a salary during the year. So when they graduate, they've actually made money for 4 years. We're one of the only universities in Canada that can guarantee 4 years towards your pension while you're at school and a guaranteed employment after. Within 10 years after graduation, we can guarantee that you'll be making 6 figures.
It was a no-brainer that I get to keep playing hockey. I get to pursue my childhood dream of flying planes.
They know they can come here, get an excellent education, and then go on to have an amazing career after having enjoyed, 4 or 5 years of exceptional hockey.
We have grads that are special forces. We have grads that have been the captain of our parachute team, the Skyhawks and the Snowbirds. We also have a lot of alumni that have desk jobs within the military, whether it's doing finance, HR, policies, contracting. But then we also have very successful people that take that military experience and translate it into the private sector, whether they start engineering firms for themselves or work for big companies. Hockey team alumni that have opened breweries, pilots in the private sector. We also have Navy personnel that have captained ships and have sailed around the world, or they can be in the Air Force as pilots. So they're flying every aircraft, whether it's an F-18, a Herc, a Globemaster, or Cyclones helicopters.
I've wanted to be a pilot since I was a little kid. You know, the military crossed my mind. It opened a door to me that I'd never really thought about before.
We're very fortunate that we get the opportunity to play in 2 historic hockey games annually. Our first one is against Queens, and that game is actually the longest standing inter-university rivalry. Our second game is against West Point, an NCAA Division I team. That game is the longest standing international hockey rivalry in the world.
The Canadian Armed Forces versus U.S. Army, like that atmosphere is like nothing I've ever experienced before.
You know, when you put on that jersey, it's a great sense of pride, because not only that you're representing RMC, but you're representing Canada, and you can't get that anywhere else.
RMC provides you with the skills that you need to become just an excellent Canadian citizen in whatever area you'll decide to work in.
I think RMC hockey is on the upswing, and I think the best years are ahead of us, and that's a challenge, and that's a challenge I'm really looking forward to.
Ontario University Athletics has more than 4,000 female student athletes getting into the game. Some are playing for the little girl in the stands, aspiring to be a varsity athlete like them. Some are playing for the powerful group of allies that surround them both on and off of the field. And some are playing to show that talent, dedication, and hard work transcend the labels of gender. Many females, however, see their sport journey end during adolescence. For those who continue on, varsity athletics offers opportunity. It offers community. It's a means to not only continue your dream on the court, but excel beyond it. Because some student athletes may be looking to become Olympians and world champions. Some may see their passion for playing turn into a call for coaching. And some may aim to transform their athletics into prominent positions beyond the sporting world altogether. But for whatever their motives or goals, it's important to have the means to pursue them. It's important to feel like you can inspire the little girl in the stands, compete with your teammates, and break down any barriers to get to where you want to be. And above all else, it's important to remember that we are one.
It's a hockey defining moment. Many hear the call, only a few ever answer it. But those who do vow to bravely defend the world's smallest kingdom, the 24 square feet of a hockey net. Every time you go in net, so do we.
Alone, I'm the last line of defense.
I am the difference. We are in net.
Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
This dressing room to me represents the school of life. The old coach I had in the late 90s used to say overnight success takes time.
This is the best league I've played in by far. Guys are smart, guys are skilled. You've got guys that are here to play and can play. Everyone in this league can play.
I played in Niagara Ice Dogs and the Peterborough Petes, and also I was drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning in the 5th round.
We expect our first years to contribute right off the bat. Starting from on ice, you have a chance to come in and play.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me in the recruiting process. Getting the chance to step in as a first year and contribute right away is big.
We ask a lot of our student athletes. We're a leadership college, so we expect everyone to be a leader. It's demanding, but it sets them up to be key members of that culture, and so they can be drivers of the bus and not just followers at the back. We don't just skate by, we skate through.
Being a small school in such a high level of competition for hockey brings a level of adversity, and I think that adversity creates bonds, camaraderie, and friendships that are so powerful. I think that this is what makes this program stand out from all others.
Kingston's a gorgeous city that our student athletes get to enjoy. It has tons of history. All the buildings on the exterior are very historic, but everything inside has been updated, and they are all state-of-the-art for the classrooms and dorm rooms, as well as our...
We're back here at the Leon Center, rolling right through the 35th edition of the annual Challenge Cup as we welcome you back in second period, getting set to go. Alan Atmansky along with Fraser McAlpine. And while we've got a second, why don't we take a look at the OUA's Eastern standings to see what the situation is for the Queens Gaels right now. We mentioned that they have to win to stay in the hunt for the playoffs, and there you see how dire the situation is. Only the top 6 make it this year. New format, top 6 make it. So Queens right now on the outside looking in. A win, they can stay in the hunt, trying to hunt down the Carleton Ravens for that 6th spot.
Yeah, but a loss, that's the ball game for Queens. So they got to come out here, a little bit of desperation, and try to get in Joey May's face, get in the Paladins' face, and do what they can here.
Draw is won by RMC to kick off the second, and we are off and running. Jack Duff off the boards, missed Campbell with it. That's Wells high and hard out. Duff kicks it. It goes right to Smith. Now Tsukamoto to the middle. Swinging through is Smith. He'll just poke it ahead and try to get on his horse. Paquette got there. Smith tied him up. Now Duff, and it's going to be Broaders, a 2-on-2 battle. Smith right on Paquette, though. Finally, they're up and moving it. Campbell missed Cranford, a race between he and Wells. It's Wells there. Cranford locked him up. Those two skate right by it. Noah Rowe. They put it right into the body of Campbell, and then Wells had to be quick. Drove it into Hotchkiss and then into the netting. Stops play here early on. The student bodies we mentioned earlier, they're going to go back at one another. There they have started. RMC against Go Gaels Go. It's like we're at a Montreal-Toronto game.
Absolutely, or any kind of NCAA college game you could think of. It's nice to have a little NCAA flair here in youth sports hockey. You don't see it very often.
I love both schools having their bands on hand. It really creates that atmosphere in the student bodies. I see Go Gaels Go signs, Go Paladins Go, and even those giant heads. I don't know what they're called, but I've seen a few of those here on hand this evening. All par for the course when it comes to the Carr-Harris Cup.
Yeah, the only team that does the big band stuff is McGill. So when you go to McConnell Arena, there's the McGill band there playing tunes every whistle.
Noble tried to clear this one, and it will be skated out thanks to the work of Spratt. He's dumped, though, by Bratney as Lalonde will take care of the biscuit. Spratt going at Bratney, who has his stick. Those two exchange blows. Luke Richardson just grabs the puck and holds on to it. Spratt's not backing down as Bratney gives him a shot.
Bratney is sneaky tough, so I wouldn't want, if I'm Josh Spratt, I would skate away. You can't fight in this league, though.
You cannot. That's why you often see, as we have many times this year, when games kind of get lopsided later on, a lot of pushing, shoving, everything but. As this one gets dropped and Queens tries the quick exit up the boards. Did not work, so they'll have to try another route. And this time they'll carry it and play it to Hutchison. From well out, it's into the midsection of May, who will smother that and take another whistle. Would not surprise me if we see Joey May do a lot more of that. Just one shot covered up, take the whistle from here on out. He's had a ton of work so far and still 2 periods left.
And at some point, he's going to get tired. His legs are going to start cramping up, and there's going to be rebounds available. But Queens have got to stop putting the puck right in the M of the RMC. He's got a quick chest, as former RMC coach Adam Schall used to say.
A lockup off the dot, and RMC gets out of their own end quickly, but Queens retrieves things and tried to get on the attack. They were stalled at the Paladin blue line. Katzelay is run into. Puck got away from everybody. Now May on his forehand played it, and Pim didn't know it was coming. They'll swing it all the way around to the left wing, now at the blue line, taking a walk across. That was the big body of Lalonde, and a shot from Bratney is held on to by May. Shots now 23-9 in favor of the Tricolor, who have been, I don't think I'm exaggerating if I say it's been 70-30.
No, not exaggerating at all.
Another look at the handiwork of May so far. Bratney sending that one in, and the body's arriving just a hair late to create that traffic they're looking for. Off this dot, they knock it to the wing and then sweep it back. Perrick off balance, got it down right wing side. They put it off the side of the net. Logan Lesage had all sorts of room and just could not get it into the net. Here's Lesage for Perrick. Hesitation, gets that one out of the zone. Then they dump it back in. They were on the left side of the stripe, so no icing. Wass slaps it up. Forward led Duke. Missed everybody. Cousins tried to skate in. He's stripped. Down ice it's sent. As Queens gets to it, Lesage on the left wing. For Will Sermon. He played it ahead on his wing. Wells waiting for Tsukamoto. Nice deflection through the legs. Smith took that one in stride. Chipped it around Duff. He's held up. And we're going to get a penalty call on that one. Might be against the rules.
A little bit. I think Jack Duff, maybe his knee slipped out there at the last second, sent Smith flying. Smith is a big boy for RMCs. He's a spark plug man for the Paladins.
And they're both Kingston kids,
And they're both Kingston kids, too. Yep, little knee-on-knee action there. Jack Duff goes sits for two or less.
RMC, their second power play of the evening. An earlier one was shortened. We'll see if they get the full 2 minutes or if it will be shortened again. Off the dot, Smith won it. They'll slide it to the blue line. Row for Spratt. They want Spratt to be the trigger man here. But Queens has been good at taking away those shooting lanes. A little shovel backhand in from Mitch Larrabee. Nice to have a very Kingston flavor to this game on both sides of the roster. May taking this one and gives it to Spratt. Swinging through Rowe, who drops it back for Spratt. Back to Rowe. At the blue line, he's forced to dump it off by Bratney. Retrieving it, Lalonde, hard on his forehand. Cut down in the corner. Smith slapped it off Larrabee. It came in front. Queens finds it, and that one sent bouncing down the ice.
Queens doing a great job again. No Chris Paquette lineup for RMC tonight, so who knows who's going to step up on this power play and finish plays for them.
Spratt over center ice. He'll take it himself, splits the D, but Paquette using that long reach, able to neutralize that attack. In the corner, Tsukamoto for Leduc. In front, it's Pascal. They go at the blue line. Little game of catch between he and Saint. And then the shot from Saint. Great pad stop. Richardson. A short-handed break for the Gaels as it's led by Curtis from well out. Joey May on an arcing drive slides alongside. Hebert just has Curtis pinned. Finally, they free it. And it will be Austin Saint down to 35 seconds to go in the power play. Saint bringing it right down Main Street. Off to the right wing this time. Tsukamoto back to Saint, deflected in, and it just was a little too high as that one finds the netting and brings about an offensive zone draw.
Austin Saint has been very dangerous all year as a rookie. Usually, RMC has this one rookies that just are heading beyond their expectations. Austin Saint was one. Riley Brandt was another one. Kyle Phillips. It just goes on and on. The good first-year players RMC has. Austin Saint is one of those players.
A Bonnyville, Alberta native, played as junior for the Bonnyville Pontiacs out in the AJHL in the Pontiacs program, one of the strong ones out there. I say that, a lot of them are strong out in the AJHL. They have a very good junior A loop out in Western Canada. Off the face-off, it's won by Paquette as he races this one away. I would say that probably right behind the BCHL would be the AJHL.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's Spratt. He stood up by Paquette, lost his stick in the process, but did get it deep. Queens fires this down, and that will wind the final seconds of the call against Jack Duff down. We are at 5-on-5 hockey. From the corner, Campbell twisting and turning, trying to cut in. Lost it against Noble. Noble to the right wing. Put it right on the spot for Broaders. Broaders into that far corner. Holtrop dodges the check of Longo. Lost the puck though. With it is Robert. Rink wide pass was a little behind. Perrick took it, tried to carry in, was stopped. Hutchison, scrambling shot, gloved and held by Joey May. Another face-off coming up in RMC zone. Fowler.
The RMC faithful behind the net of Queens goalie Luke Richardson, giving him the gears like we're at a Natural Predators game.
Love it, absolutely love it. The student portion to this evening's game is fantastic, and if you haven't taken it in person, it has to be on your list if you're in the Kingston area.
I'm sure RMC fan Kenny Greer is listening in on this one and has a big smile on his face with the RMC faithful chirping the other team's goalie.
Queens tried a shot from the blue line. Will Murray forced the issue and got it all the way in to the Gaels zone. Perth native Brock McNaughton left it behind the net. It will be taken from there by Hayden Fowler. Through the middle, knocked away off the stick of Robert. Fowler kept the train moving. Hits Robert as the trailer. Wrist shot blocker got a piece of it from Joey May, and then over the glass into the netting and out of play inside the Leon Center. Decent crowd on hand to take this one in. I would say it wouldn't shock me if there's 4,000.
And they've been slowly filtering in. They started the pregame ceremonies way early. There wasn't all the people here, but more people starting to filter in. A little messy outside.
It's very messy outside. You're going to get real cold overnight, so spend it indoors with us. And if you can't be here in person, we're glad you could join us on OUA TV and CBC Sports. That went into the penalty box beneath us, so another face-off coming up at the blue line. About a week left in the OUA regular season. And for Queens, it's do or die time.
Yeah, do or die. You play it tonight. Then you play Ontario Tech on Saturday night at home, and then you got to go all the way to Montreal to take on the Concordia Stingers to end the season.
Not an easy task, as RMC found out last weekend, and then May got clipped with a stick, and I think it was maybe his own player's stick, so you're not going to see a call there.
Brad Moore rightly calls, says it's the other player's stick.
Tried to sell it a little bit, maybe.
You got to sell it. Carr-Harris Cup, you want as much power play time as you can.
Exactly. Here another look at it. The shot from the knees from Katzele. And then
yeah, that was an RMC stick right in the mush.
May looks undeterred, though, as they set up to his left. Clean win for Katzele at the line. Lalonde with a screaming shot in there. May had to make a pair of stops and then a third one, and it's underneath the mess of bodies somewhere as Joey May continues to turn them aside for the red and white.
Gaels not differing from their game plan. On the line with a giant shot from the point. He's got one of the better one-timers in college hockey. And Joey May finally lets out a rebound, and RMC creates the scramble, but RMC again, strong defensive hockey here.
Dewart tried to go forward with it, couldn't, so gets back to it and now pulls it in. Leaves it left point. Bradney skipping shot in there, deflected last second, goes wide of the mark. Here's Rowe. Tried to flip it out, could not. It's in the corner. There's Katzele angled away by Spratt. Size mismatch, but Spratt never let that stop him. Kicking it free was Curtis in front, and he did not miss Dewart by much, but the Paladins will counter, and it's led by Devin Leduc. He's forced to take the long route, and at the last second, Lalonde thought better of holding him up. Leduc fishes that one away from Lalonde. Put it in front, rebound let out. Queens has numbers. Curtis for Duhart. Duhart one-on-one, drives left, slot shot, scores! Dalton Dewart went left, shot right, Queens up 1-0.
What did I say about 10 minutes in the game? Dalton Duhart is going to be a big factor in this hockey game, and he proved it, going one-on-one and just putting it by Joey May. If Queens is to win and get to the playoffs, Dalton Duhart has to be the catalyst here.
It took us 26 minutes and 54 seconds before we saw a goal, but the first one comes from Dalton Duhart.
And here comes the oil thigh. We're at a Queens football game.
He collects his third of the season, 8 points, but more importantly, gives Queens the early lead in a must-win game to keep their playoff hopes alive, and it's 1-0 Gaels nearing the midpoint of period number 2. Larrabee against Campbell to restart things. Pascal, he skated it and then had it stripped. Larrabee follows that in. Loose puck, Paquette reaches it. Cranford tried to kick it up, couldn't. Now Austin Saint will collect that for the Paladins. Flip it right back to Paquette. He tried to play it up, hit Saint, and then gets another crack at it. Josh Curtis, the primary assist on the goal. And we're going to get a RMC power play coming, or penalty kill rather, sorry, as the Queens Gaels will head to the power play as a tripping call whistled against the Paladins in Michael Waugh.
Not what you want to do if you're RMC. You just let the first goal in, and you cannot trip a guy on the back check to give the Gaels another chance to possibly put this game away in the middle of the second period.
12:30 to go, and it's a massive power play for the Queens Gaels. They win it back to Longo, middle of the line. Lalonde wants to tee it up, thought better of it. Now deals it to Fowler. High shot in there, May the save.
Joey May has got to stand tall here.
Your best penalty killer has to be your goalie, and Joey May is going to be called upon again. It'll be Hayden Fowler up against Brock McNaughton. That is short-lived. Waved out as Fowler. Dalton Dewart replaces him. McNaughton wins it. Slapped down ice by the Paladins. Richardson stops it behind there and lets Lalonde come through. Owen Lalonde. Give it off to Robert, and then he gets one of the Paladins defensemen to blow a tire. They'll move it across the blue line. Fowler and Lalonde switch up. They want that one-timer from Lalonde, but elect to go to the right side this time. A little give and go play. Longo, Fowler, back to Lalonde, and then Fowler, Lalonde, across the dots. Nice maneuvering. Longo couldn't get it back to Robert. From the right point, he'll chase that down and keep the pressure on. Fowler curls in. Shot is blocked by Murray. The rebound right to Fowler.
I look like it hurt.
He's wincing out there. Another drive, and he blocks it again. Will Murray sacrificing himself for the team. Owen Lalonde, again a catch with Trevor Longo. One-timer and a third block from Murray. What a shift from Will Murray there. 3 massive blocks.
That is a huge shift. If RMC is able to come back in this game, Will Murray's 3 shot blocks are going to be a huge factor in that.
This one brought ahead by Holden Katzele. Chipped it in and tried to get back to it. Pym holds him up in the process. Ethan Coulthard saucered down. 20 seconds left in this kill for RMC. Perrick on him is Holtrop. Can Perrick shake that? No, he can't. They'll try the left side. This time it's Nolan Hutchison, the former Sudbury Wolf. Wolf, I'm not sure what you would call the singular one. Cleared out by RMC.
I believe it's Wolf.
The former Sudbury Wolf. I like it. Long stretch passes through the wickets of Cousins. Gets it into the zone. Big hit thrown by Hutchison. RMC will clear this one, but the penalty had expired, and so icing is the call.
The Gaels coach Brett Gibson threw a curveball at Richard Lim on their power play. Queens changed up their power play lines. You had Fowler, Lalonde, and Katzele looking for Katzele, but Coach Gibson throws a curveball, throws Longo out there on a one-timer side, so it threw RMC's pre-scout a little bit off.
I guess 422, 423 games in the OUA, and you learn a trick or two over his career. Nice to see Brett Gibson honored before the game for reaching that 400 mark plateau last season. Of course, because of the pandemic, no Carr-Harris Cup game, no opportunity to honor him on a stage like this, so they took the chance this evening before the game and marked that with a nice presentation among his children and wife Angela.
I have a good story about that. Before the night before the game, Brett texts me and goes, "It's my 400th game tomorrow, make a tweet." Someone had pointed out to him that it was his 400th game, no one knew.
Blunt and to the point, I like it.
Exactly, that's Gibby's way.
Boards and down ice. Wells to Rowe. And then through the middle, just missed Spratt. Will it get waved off? It will as Leduc arrives. He takes it into the left corner. Bratney muscles him away, just threw him into the wall. Back to it though is Leduc. Tried to curl in, lost it. Lesage to the right wing. Cranford from well out off the boards. Rowe flipped it ahead, missed Holtrop. That's Paquette settling it down, right point. Hotchkiss had come in, now he'll get back to it. Lost it against Spratt, who has had a bit of a B in his game so far, and he'll take this one for a little stroll. Spratt one-on-one against Duff, flattened though, offside, whistled, and then Duff gets a shot from the Paladins. And they're still very much in this game. They got to be careful not to give the Gaels any advantage.
Absolutely. Spratt ended up just blowing a tire over the blue line, and Duff was already committed to throwing the hit. So as you trying to defend your teammate, it did look bad, but Spratt was already falling, and Duff was already committing to hit him. No penalties coming from this.
And of course, there's the size mismatch too on that one, so it always looks a little worse than it actually is. Another look at it. Spratt wheeling through and then lost the handle, and then Duff maybe got a little bit of the head with the mitt, but nothing that would warrant a call. And the officials agree with us. Of course, they consult with us before every call, right, Fraser?
Absolutely. I talked to Marco, the linesman, and Shane Wanderman for every men's league game about the refereeing abilities.
You've got the inside scoop as Campbell knocks this one past Larrabee and then to Hotchkiss. Saint, though, locks up on him, gives him no space, and it's back in the Gaels zone. Left wing side, Campbell. Drop pass for Hotchkiss as he gives it right back to Campbell off the backside of, I believe that was Pascal in front. Campbell to Hotchkiss in that corner. He curls it back. Paquette, quick pass to Duff, walks in. Duff shot. May a kicked save to the side. That tangled me all up nuts. Here's Paquette. Kick this one loose to his stick. High slot. Gaels in the midst of a change. They kick that one, and the Paladins are up on a 2-on-1. Pascal and Saint. Pascal shot. Rebound was there off the pad of Richardson. Saint couldn't find it, and in with it are the Gaels. Ahead of that, though, brought down was Alex Robert, offside.
The linesman accidentally with a nice chip pass up to start that 2-on-1 for the Paladins.
It's all about rolling with what you're given, right?
Exactly. It's the Carr-Harris Cup. You got one game a year like this. Take whatever advantage you have.
Face-off will be right in front of the Gaels bench. 8:07 left in this one. 1-0 thanks to the tally from Dalton Dewart, which Fraser correctly called earlier on in the first period. Said Dalton Dewart, he's going to have to factor into this one. Was buzzing early on and comes through for the Gaels to grab the early momentum, but it's been pretty quiet since then. Poltrop with the deflection into the Queen's end. McNaughton can't locate the puck. Queens does, out for Lucas Perrick. Former 67 and Frontenac. Perrick, right side of the net. May, a huge stop in there off the reverse backdoor play. Everybody thought it was going left. It arrived right, and Joey May came up huge. Beneath us, it's Alex Robert. Nothing to work with, so fires it in. May on his backhand to Coltart, and then in front, that one missed by Smith. Shot rang iron in there. Curtis snapped it off the left posting. The Gaels mere inches from doubling their lead. Smith, they're going to get this one. Just get it out to center if you're RMC, and they do. Duart is there. Out to Holden Katzele, right wing side. Drop pass wasn't clean, but the Gaels do find it upstairs. A shot from Duart again. Not far from cashing in. RMC at the tail end of a shift. Tsukamoto pushes it ahead. Of course, you've got the long change this period, so a little tougher to get those bodies off. Here's Curtis from well out. May's holding on to that. He knows his team needs a change, and he's going to take the whistle on that.
And another great sequence by the Gaels, and Joey May standing up tall, doing what he can.
Lucas Perrick, a look at that last great opportunity. He cut to the middle and then fed it across the grain to the oncoming Alex Robert, who put it into the pads of Joey May, and then another opportunity for Dalton Dewart. That one getting a piece of May's shoulder and staying out. Draw to the right of the RMC net. Clean win for Sermon. It's back to Lalonde. One-timer from Bradney, hits a body, skips just left of the net. The Gaels have had many opportunities in the last 30 seconds to extend their lead and have not been able to. You wonder if RMC is going to come back and answer. Larrabee towards the net, but Pascal couldn't do much as he was locked up with Bratney. Now Isaac Pascal finds it. Had it poked away from him by Bratney. Down ice it goes. Chip and chase, there's Cousins. Left corner, big hit thrown in there as Wells had to be quick to move it. Duff off the line. Right corner, a little low high pass, and Sermon's shot blocked by Saint. He's going to get an opportunity. Austin Saint in one-on-one, trying to catch him as Duff. At the last second he does and drives him into the net. Good play by Jack Duff to take out that chance, and Austin Saint not too happy with the lack of a call.
Absolutely great job by Jack Duff. He did nothing there to warrant a penalty. His skating got him back in the play, and he was able to get a stick and a body and make the great play there. Jack Duff right now is the MVP of this game right now. I mean, that is defense on a back check 101. I understand Austin Saint's upset, but that was a great play by Jack Duff.
RMC coming close to equalizing things here. We mentioned it just mere moments ago. Gaels with a couple of opportunities couldn't do it, and then you wonder, hey, if they're allowing RMC to hang around, are they going to be able to take that and run with it? And they almost did there as Austin Saint came in and oh so close, but at the end of a shift couldn't do much. He is RMC's leading scorer with 12 goals and 7 assists, so if there's a guy to get that chance, that's who you want. Campbell off this dot, back Paquette to the left wing. Hotchkiss, big hit thrown there as Noble stepped up, and he only got a little bit of him, but it was enough to send him away, and it's going to be Cole Noble back with it. Pulling it through Joe Holtrop. He's got a step on Duff. Backhand shot not on target, though. Those missed opportunities for RMC are burning them right now as Campbell touches that one, and offside is whistled.
Yeah, you're the Pals right now. You only have 13 shots on net. You cannot waste those grade A scoring chances. Joe Holtrop with a little razzle-dazzle around Jack Duff, and he just puts it just wide. Those great hands by Joel Holtrop. Look at that, you see that in NHL 23, Alan.
And we also saw that a time or two at the Invista Center not long ago, and one of the RMC Paladins just headed off to the dressing room, and I didn't get a look at the number. So we'll keep an eye on that to see if that is a developing story or if it's just an equipment issue. The Gaels from their own zone right now. Fowler led it ahead for Robert. He's going to chase this in the right corner as Smith takes him hard into the boards. Smith, one of those agitators that you hate to play against but love to have. Here they're curling and dancing in with it. Fowler kicked it from the skates up to the stick, and then nobody home in the slot, but they do battle back. Now Tsukamoto at the line tried to carry out, and that's always a coach nightmare as he turned it over. Left point Perrick to the middle of the blue line. Waiting for it was Tsukamoto, and that a bit of a puzzling pass. A no-win situation for Longo, but they get out of it. Now Fowler. He's at the end of a shift, so he's just going to tee that one up. It almost worked for him as May lets out a huge rebound. Right wing side, net behind May is off the moorings, though. They're going to say it was off of Nolan Hutchison, moving the face-off just outside the blue line with 4:34 left in the second stanza.
You can see if that wasn't the end of a Queen shift, there have been about 3 guys at the net there after Joey May couldn't catch it. Again, Joey May is 35 out of 36 so far tonight.
He has been sensational for the Paladins so far. And really, despite the score, he is the story right now in this one. He has done it time and time again for RMC. Larrabee back to row. Peppered to the left wing side. Coltart couldn't find a home for that pass. It's Dalton Dewart. Out in front, that was centered and then blocked by RMC captain Noah Rowe. Austin Saint marching down the right wing side. Curtis caught up to him, then Katzele did. Now Curtis to Dewart. He's just stood up by former Smiths Falls Bear, Ethan Coltart. Holding Katzele. Across the zone for Lalonde. Back in front, Dalton one hard, and that's May's best stop of the game so far. Hands down, fantastic stop, Joey May.
Absolutely going right to left. It's always a tough play to make on your blocker side, but Joey May made it look easy. Again, stopping Dalton Dewhart, who has been, like Jack Duff, the Queen's story of the evening.
May reading that one and reacting to it, coming up with a massive stop for the Paladins to make it still a 1-1 game, and that shot blocked by McNaughton as he carries it out. McNaughton, though, was caught up to by Cranford. Now Hotchkiss with Campbell down the middle. Hotchkiss holds, fires. May square on that one with Campbell stationed on the doorstep.
This has been a consistent line for the Gaels. I've been calling them the grumpy old men, harking back to the old Dallas Stars of the 2000s, because you have fourth-year Matt Hotchkiss, fourth-year Ryan Cranford, and I don't know how long he's been there, Duncan Campbell.
Seems like forever.
Forever. I got here in 2019. He's been here before that. They just find eligibility somewhere with him.
Back to the line. Duff with a one-timer. Big rebound out. May 1-2 stops there as they knock it to the wing, and Murray will clear to the blue line. Wells to Murray. Great action in the later stages of the second. Hotchkiss in, a hair offside though. 3:22 to go, and the Gaels starting to build some momentum, some waves of attack. 1, 2, 3 times. Joey May standing and saying, hey guys, want to help me out and give me some offense to work with?
Like I said before the game, RMC is going to win this game. Joey May is going to make north of 50 saves tonight. Well, he's at 39 right now.
I was going to say, he's at 40 shots faced, 39 stops, make it 40 shots saved, 41 faced after that one.
Like I said in the first period, that game when Evan DeViller, that was probably the best goaltending performance I've seen in college hockey. If DeViller's watching, I still think about that game a lot every time I'm here.
Puck is down, and Rowe on his backhand lifts it just out to center ice. Fired back in by the Gaels' Alex Robert as May comes out, and he put it into no man's land. Had to scramble to get back in short side. They missed by mere inches. So May put it on the Gaels' stick. They had an empty net, and they almost cashed in, but he got a piece with the stick, and then the second one missed the net. Here's Wada Holtrop through the middle. Tsukamoto reaching, could not find it. Lalonde at the goal line. This is everything you want in a Carr-Harris Cup. Alex Robert off that long feed. Sliding us along is Joey May. Pushed it to the near boards. Hutchison, little stab at it to try to find somebody coming through. Couldn't. Now they'll just float it back into the corner. Off the boards it comes to Alex Robert. And then Trevor Longo starts at the blue line, but Longo's been in on a lot of these rushes from the line. Katzelay's shot. Hit a body, goes wide. Back at the blue line, holding Katzelay right side. Longo's shot. That had a lot of sauce behind it, but comes out to center. Katzelay pulls it in, and then his pass for Curtis intercepted. Mitch Larrabee to the oncoming Pascal. Backhand. Richardson answers Mays with a great stop of his own right there.
What a toe save by Luke Richardson. He has not been busy. He hasn't seen a shot in a long time. And if Queen's going to make the playoffs, Luke Richardson's got to be that answer. He's played every game so far in the second half because of saves like this.
What a stretch from Luke Richardson. Pascal tried to go backhand at the last second, and Richardson using every inch of that left pad to get it and keep this a Gaels 1-0 lead.
Be a much different game if RMC can get to the dressing room 1-1 going into the third. That's exactly where they want to be.
Dumped off by the Gaels. Noble is there. Part of me wonders, though, they're getting these chances now if it's something they can build off of. Paquette stops that one at the blue line, and coming up with it is Captain Cranford to the slot for Campbell. Fanned on it, and RMC with numbers the other way. It's a 3-on-2 led by defenseman Matthew Hebert. A little give and go with Will Murray. Hebert to the front. And on second thought, it might have been better to shoot that as the pass was blocked, and now the Gaels come out. Campbell from the blue line. Stick of May pushes it away, and Hebert is there. Spratt from center. Right wing side, rolling puck, gets it settled, and in front, Brothers, Rowe scores!
Again, that's what RMC needs to do. I said you got to get to the dressing room 1-1, and they just do that. As the captain puts the team on his back, Noah Rowe. And that just sends a whole bunch of camo guys crazy right now.
A broken play results in a Noah Rowe goal. And a 1-0 game is now a 1-1 hockey game with 69 seconds to go in the second period. Noah Rowe, third goal of the season, 16th point. Leaders lead, and he has come up huge for the red and white there. Holtrop off the wing. Tries to sneak one in on Richardson. The water bottle popped, and the crowd behind thought it snuck through, but it wasn't to be.
The energy has changed in this arena right now, Alan.
Spratt tried to feed Leduc, and it went through the skates as it's flipped down ice by Robert. Now Hutchison, will it go for icing? It does not. May had to put a little push on that to keep it away. Wells gets to it. Flipped it ahead, Leduc bounces past him, 30 seconds to go. Massive shift in this game. If you're a team with a 1-0 lead and you let the other side hang around, you start to play with fire a little bit, and the RMC Paladins showed you why.
This is Paladins Hockey 101. Just hang around and hang around and hang around and get your chances. It's been a Richard Lim blueprint for as long as he's been coaching, and it's been successful for them.
It is Rowe from Josh Spratt and Brent Brothers to tie this at one late in the second period. Clean win for RMC and a quick exit as they go off the glass and out. Can Larrabee beat Duff? They are going to bring it back down to the same dot they just came from. 13 seconds to go. Katzele steps in here. But it's Smith who bests him, and out to center ice it's lifted. Larrabee for Murray. Couple of big moments in this game so far. One, the play of Joey May. Two, the penalty kill where Will Murray made not one, not two, but three massive shot blocks. And then from that point, it seemed like RMC took the ball.
Yeah, the momentum shifted after that penalty kill. The 9 Queens a power play goal after they had just scored. And the tide has just shifted going towards Luke Richardson's net.
Shots 41-15, but the score is what matters. 1-1 with 5 seconds to go. Spratt against Katzele. Spratt able to just knife that one back, and RMC content to wind down the final seconds and take this 1-1 game into the dressing room. So we were 0-0 through 20, Fraser, through 40. We are still tied, but this time 1-1.
It's going to be a great finish. Classic Queens RMC hockey at the Carr-Harris Cup.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because you look back, the last Carr-Harris Cup, 4-2. There was a one-off where RMC beat Queens 5-1.
We don't talk about that game anymore.
But the other two after that, 6-5 Queens in overtime and 3-2 RMC. So they're close games, and we're getting exactly what we expected here tonight. Another tight affair, 1-1 through 40 here in the 35th edition of the Carr-Harris Cup. We'll step out for a break and come back with the conclusion. That's all ahead here on OUA TV and CBC Sports.
Ontario University Athletics has more than 4,000 female student athletes getting into the game. Some are playing for the little girl in the stands, aspiring to be a varsity athlete like them. Some are playing for the powerful group of allies that surround them both on and off of the field. And some are playing to show that talent, dedication, and hard work transcend the labels of gender. Many females, however, see their sport journey end during adolescence. For those who continue on, varsity athletics offers opportunity. It offers community. It's a means to not only continue your dream on the court, but excel beyond it. Because some student athletes may be looking to become Olympians and world champions. Some may see their passion for playing turn into a call for coaching. And some may aim to transform their athletics into prominent positions beyond the sporting world altogether. But for whatever their motives or goals, it's important to have the means to pursue them. It's important to feel like you can inspire the little girl in the stands, compete with your teammates, and break down any barriers to get to where you want to be. And above all else, it's important to remember that we are one.
It's a hockey defining moment. Many hear the call, only a few ever answer it. But those who do vow to bravely defend the world's smallest kingdom, the 24 square feet of a hockey net. Every time you go in net, so do we.
Alone, I'm the last line of defense.
I am the difference. We are in net.
Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
This dressing room to me represents the school of life. The old coach I had in the late 90s used to say overnight success takes time.
This is the best league I've played in by far. Guys are smart, guys are skilled. You've got guys that are here to play and can play. Everyone in this league can play.
I played in Niagara Ice Dogs and the Peterborough Petes, and also I was drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning in the 5th round.
We expect our first years to contribute right off the bat. Starting from on ice, you have a chance to come in and play.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me in the recruiting process. Getting the chance to step in as a first year and contribute right away is big.
We ask a lot of our student athletes. We're a leadership college, so we expect everyone to be a leader. It's demanding, but it sets them up to be key members of that culture, and so they can be drivers of the bus and not just followers at the back. We don't just skate by, we skate through.
Being a small school in such a high level of competition for hockey brings a level of adversity, and I think that adversity creates bonds, camaraderie, and friendships that are so powerful. I think that this is what makes this program stand out from all others.
Kingston's a gorgeous city that our student athletes get to enjoy. It has tons of history. All the buildings on the exterior are very historic, but everything inside has been updated, and they are all state-of-the-art for the classrooms and dorm rooms, as well as our dining halls and our cadet mess where they can relax, watch TV, watch hockey games, play some pool. Almost all the dorm rooms have a sight line to the water. The campus is a one-stop shop, might be one of the most picturesque campuses in Canada, with it being a peninsula in Lake Ontario.
Being on the peninsula, gorgeous. It's a university city, top to bottom. The city of Kingston is awesome.
As a cadet, tuition, room, board, food, it's all covered. So student athletes coming here, they come out debt-free. They actually receive a salary during the year. So when they graduate, they've actually made money for 4 years. We're one of the only universities in Canada that can guarantee 4 years towards your pension while you're at school and a guaranteed employment after. Within 10 years after graduation, we can guarantee that you'll be making 6 figures.
It was a no-brainer that I get to keep playing hockey. I get to pursue my childhood dream of flying planes.
They know they can come here, get an excellent education, and then go on to have an amazing career after having enjoyed, 4 or 5 years of exceptional hockey.
We have grads that are special forces. We have grads that have been the captain of our parachute team, the Skyhawks and the Snowbirds. We also have a lot of alumni that have desk jobs within the military, whether it's doing finance, HR, policies, contracting. But then we also have very successful people that take that military experience and translate it into the private sector, whether they start engineering firms for themselves or work for big companies. Hockey team alumni that have opened breweries, pilots in the private sector. We also have Navy personnel that have captained ships and have sailed around the world, or they can be in the Air Force as pilots. So they're flying every aircraft, whether it's an F-18, a Herc, a Globemaster, or Cyclones helicopters.
I've wanted to be a pilot since I was a little kid. You know, the military crossed my mind. It opened a door to me that I'd never really thought about before.
We're very fortunate that we get the opportunity to play in 2 historic hockey games annually. Our first one is against Queens, and that game is actually the longest standing inter-university rivalry. Our second game is against West Point, an NCAA Division I team. That game is the longest standing international hockey rivalry in the world.
The Canadian Armed Forces versus U.S. Army, like that atmosphere is like nothing I've ever experienced before.
You know, when you put on that jersey, it's a great sense of pride because not only that you're representing RMC, but you're representing Canada, and you can't get that anywhere else.
RMC provides you with the skills that you need to become just an excellent Canadian citizen in whatever area you'll decide to work in.
I think RMC hockey is on the upswing, and I think the best years are ahead of us, and that's a challenge, and that's a challenge I'm really looking forward to.
Ontario University Athletics has more than 4,000 female student athletes getting into the game. Some are playing for the little girl in the stands, aspiring to be a varsity athlete like them. Some are playing for the powerful group of allies that surround them both on and off of the field. And some are playing to show that talent, dedication, and hard work transcend the labels of gender. Many females, however, see their sport journey end during adolescence. For those who continue on, varsity athletics offers opportunity. It offers community. It's a means to not only continue your dream on the court, but excel beyond it. Because some student athletes may be looking to become Olympians and world champions. Some may see their passion for playing turn into a call for coaching. And some may aim to transform their athletics into prominent positions beyond the sporting world altogether. But for whatever their motives or goals, it's important to have the means to pursue them. It's important to feel like you can inspire the little girl in the stands, compete with your teammates, and break down any barriers to get to where you want to be. And above all else, it's important to remember that we are one.
It's a hockey defining moment. Many hear the call, only a few ever answer it. But those who do vow to bravely defend the world's smallest kingdom, the 24 square feet of a hockey net. Every time you go in net, so do we.
Alone, I'm the last line of defense.
I am the difference. We are in net.
Where exceptional student athletes are born. Where records are broken. Where great plays are made. Where school colors ignite passion. Where champions prevail. Where tradition is celebrated. Ontario University Athletics.
The most successful people in life share one thing in common.
They all put themselves in a position to thrive.
Surrounded by people who challenge them to think bigger.
And communities that support them at every turn.
In the classroom.
And way outside of it.
If you want to set yourself up for success.
If you want to give yourself the tools to achieve any goal.
There's no better place to begin than Queens.
We challenge.
We support.
You succeed.
You'll be great, no matter where you go.
But your greatest story starts right here.
This dressing room to me represents the school of life. The old coach I had in the late 90s used to say overnight success takes time.
This is the best league I've played in by far. Guys are smart, guys are skilled. You've got guys that are here to play and can play. Everyone in this league can play.
I played in Niagara Ice Dogs and the Peterborough Petes, and also I was drafted by the Tampa Bay Lightning in the 5th round.
We expect our first years to contribute right off the bat. Starting from on ice, you have a chance to come in and play.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me in the recruiting process, getting the chance.
The Leon Center is the scene as we ready for the third period of the 35th annual Carr-Harris Cup. 1-1 is your score. The goal scorers Noah Rowe and Dalton Duhart so far. And what are these two teams playing for? Well, it's the Lenny. There you see what it looks like. And it was donated back by the Centennial Committee in 1986 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of this rivalry. Joan Belch was the one to sculpt it, and it depicts Lennox Irving, who was one of the Queens players back in the first meeting of these two, who scored the game's lone goal. So that is what the winning team will take home as we get going for the third period, and we'll see if 60 minutes is enough or if an extra time or a little extra time will be needed. Off the dot, the Gaels try to break in, but the Paladins swarm and get this one down ice. They wave off the icing charge, and so defenseman Jack Duff will have to make a play here, and he throws it to the wing where Jacob Paquette connects with Nolan Hutchison, and then down ice it goes. Joey Mayo to the cage, fires it around. Bringing it up and through is Leduc, blowing a tire. Owen Lalonde, Josh Spratt, but they're offside on that attack. Maybe a favorable bounce for the Gaels.
A little helping over the blue line. Just got tied up, and Hudson just helps the guy across the way before the puck gets in.
Josh Spratt stepping in on this one, and much like Dalton Dewart, Spratt has been buzzing around this evening, so we'll see if he can cash in. Already an assist in the game. That one from well out is kicked away by Luke Richardson. At the blue line, driven back in by Hebert. Brought up by Jacob Bratney to Alex Robert. Right wing pass, missed. Hayden Fowler, it's there for Joel Holtrop. Right on the tape of Josh Spratt, rink wide. He splits the D, comes in, Spratt back in. Great stop by Richardson as he got the pads working in there. Brought offside by Pascal, stopped just over a minute into the third.
I think the RMC Paladins have won that first minute. They've had the better chances. They've had the better legs coming out of the first period.
If you're RMC, you're treating this game like a mountain, and you want to start hitting the peak right towards the third. And so far in this third frame, they have come to play. Katzele against Larrabee. And it's steered for Longo. Rides off the stick of Curtis right back to Noble. Shoveled off to the wing. Katzele, Dewart. Getting the feet moving is Longo, and he'll bring it up. Dumped off. May well out on his forehand. Off the dasher past Saint, right point Longo. He'll send it back in. Flanking was Katzele. He's taken to the boards by Pym. Loose puck is there. Chipped at. Back for Katzele. He had himself quite a year last season. Colton Katzele. Couldn't do much there, and now the Paladins break in. Katzele, I was mentioning, he had a year last year, led the OUA with 29 points, 13 goals, 16 assists through 19 games, and here he is again. Drop pass, big blast came off the stick of Lucas Perrick, and Joey May equal to it. Lesage back to Perrick. Has to turn himself around to find it, does so. He'll park himself, left it to Lesage, who comes through with a ton of speed. Lesage over the offensive blue line, drives wide around. In the corner, Lesage drops the shoulder, shields it, back at the line, Paquette to Lesage. High slot, lost it. Murray out to center ice, Paquette able to reach on that one. Right wing side, Lesage through to Sermon. Murray manhandles him. Loose puck is on the tape of Ryan Smith. Past Broaders at the center stripe. Paquette to Duff. Back in they go as Murray and he collide. May left it out. They try to bank it off him. And why wouldn't you? May's been caught out a couple of times. The bucket of a Queens Gael in there, and Colton Cousins was lost. And they say, I think he played the puck without a helmet. And so that is going to be an ineligible player, maybe they call it, or illegal equipment?
I believe it's illegal equipment. Colton Cousins, you might see on the video here, I'm not sure if it was inadvertent or not. He did give a little bit of a foot flick of the puck after he got his helmet knocked off.
That's all it takes. It doesn't have to be much, but just enough to involve yourself in the play, and the official's there as we get another look at this.
It does happen. Your helmet's knocked off. You're disoriented. It happened to Brant Clark at the World Juniors when he got smoked and his helmet and glove went flying. It was an absolute yard sale.
So from his knee, he slid it around, and that's where the call came. Paladins back to the power play. Wouldn't it be timely if they're able to cash in? Broaders from the half boards. Back at the line for Spratt. He's got some space. Walks it. Smith drives the middle. Spratt holds on. There it is off the backside of Larrabee to Broaders. Brent Broaders at the blue line. Spratt pushes it and keeps it in. Rowe is there. Down low, Larrabee across the crease. Broaders reaching for it. He's in a battle against Paquette. Paquette kicks it loose, and the Nashville Predator drop pick sends it down ice. Paddle of goalie Joey May will leave that to Josh Spratt. As the Brockville Brave brings it out the right wing side. Spratt over center now. Tried to call his own number. He was held up. And then a big hit thrown in there as Longo was crashed into. Right point, Hebert to Pascal with traffic deflected by Smith and out of play.
Longo looks like a little hurt skating right to the bench. He took a shot from Smith. Another big body. He's not afraid to use it.
It roared out here at the Leon Center. You heard that one from here all the way at the Memorial Center and at Constantine across the causeway. Massive hit thrown, and that's what RMC has to do, make sure they're finishing their checks. Try to slow down this Queens team as Duncan Campbell will steady himself to go at Isaac Pascal, and he does win that one.
And the guy, a skater you do want to shut down is Longo. He's a very fluid defenseman.
We've seen him many times this evening. He starts on the blue line, all of a sudden he's in the corner out in front of the net. Pascal off that feed, still a chunk of time left, 40 seconds in this power play. Paquette reverses it. Can Saint hold it in? He does so. Hard back around the outside. Paquette though read that, and he will get it out of danger. And he leaves that to Hebert. Now just 25 seconds left in this RMC power play. Can the Gaels come up with another big kill? Chipped in by Saint as Duff forces him to take the long route. Paquette is there. Kick free, dug at. It's a 4-on-2 right now as RMC have numbers and they're able to keep it in. Hebert off to Austin Saint, down low. Returned it to the hash marks, and then they'll maneuver this one into the corner. Leduc behind the net, Tsukamoto for Pascal. We're back at 5-on-5. Paladins try to go across the zone. It was intercepted. Curtis to Cousins, back to Curtis down the middle. Cousins stepping up on this rush. He's fresh out of the box, so has a bit of energy in the tank. Here's Austin Saint. Didn't know Cousins was there, and that creates the turnover. Good work by Colton Cousins to get on his horse and create that turnover as Austin Saint none too happy and gives him a shot. Gloved by May. Hutchinson arrives, so that whistle upcoming.
Austin Saint I've seen on video, not afraid to give a shot in the back when the referee's not looking. He's a player that likes to be engaged physically in hockey games.
They always say on the edge but not over it.
Exactly. Colton Cousins is the exact same kind of player. He small guy, he's a spark man, but he will get in your face. He's a 5'10" forward who plays like he's 6'6".
Now we're starting to see some emotion and physicality off of face-offs. Murray jockeying with Alex Robert. That will get McNaughton waved out. Murray replaces him. Queens wins the draw. Bratney. You might see things popping up on your crowd. They're doing a giveaway right now. So it's not the puck, it is. They're tossing some souvenirs into the crowd. So you see them popping up on your camera feed. Don't be alarmed. Here's Robert. Off the half boards, down into the corner. Fowler through, nice shot by Hutchison, and an even better save by May. Lalonde takes the hit, makes the play, finds Fowler. Coming back doors Hutchison, there's Fowler, little backhand that cuts through, and it goes to the point. Curtis back deep with it, Hutchison pulls it in. Off the circle, Lalonde was too far in. All he can do is fire it back. Curtis, little stop and start. On the net, missed on the blocker side. It rolls to Fowler. High slot, there's Curtis. Shot is blocked. At the line, curled out as they get the turn to get it just past the blue line. RMC sneaks a change in as they carry it up. Chipped ahead by Noble. Ryan Smith right in there. It's on the attack of Longo. It's thrown through the crease. Rodgers to it. Right wing side, back in. Richardson a piece off the dasher. Swatted again around by Ryan Smith. That's Tsukamoto, left it sitting there. Broaders. Now Longo steps in for the Gaels. Finds Curtis. Both teams out with some tired units. They'll find Katzele out at center, and he'll bring it left wing side. Drops a shoulder around Hebert. Can he sneak it in? Tried to, but it did not go towards the net. Instead went wide. RMC hoping they could get that breakup ice, but Dewart alertly just takes it and tosses it up ice. Here's Lesage in front off a skate, wide. Back to Saint. Now he'll hit Coulthard. Pascal flying through. Put it right in on Richardson and pulls it in with Coulthard arriving. And so a face-off upcoming with 12:34 left in this third period. 1-1 is your score. 41-18 are the shots. And what an evening we have had.
Absolutely, Alan. The Gaels starting to find their legs a little bit more here as the third period goes along. Helton Katzele, patting and move, just drives wide and cuts in, tries to sneak it over. And Logan Lesage getting a lot of extra ice time. He's been very good this game. In and out of the lineup all season, but it's good to see him get rewarded.
Cranford near wall missed his outlet in Hotchkiss, so this will be an icing against Queens. Down ice it will come. The crowd on hand to take this annual event in. It's nice to have it back after a hiatus due to COVID. Over the last 5, the Queens Gaels have the slight edge, 3-2. It's been played here at the Leon Center ever since 2012. A face-off win for RMC offensively as they pepper that one back down. The Gaels come up with it. Queens been really good tonight at retrieving those. RMC again carries it up to the line, but they are offside. Queens doing a real good job. They force the RMC Paladins to dump it in, but then they're quick. The defense for the Gaels especially quick to get turned around and get those pucks back. And a lot of that has to do with the veteran presence that they have back there. Owen Lalonde, Jacob Bratney, Jacob Paquette. Fowler will be given the boot from the dot. Hutchison steps in, Spratt awaits, and Hutchison comes up with the rare clean win for him. Bratney out to the wing. Lalonde just steers that down ice, and Waugh gets to the decision line, we'll call it. Just inside of 12 minutes to go. A look at Hayden Fowler, Queens' leading point getter right now. Hometown kid. Finished his OHL career, came home and went to Queens. 6 goals, 14 assists on the year. Face-off one back to Pym around the outer wall. Fowler poked at it, got it ahead to Nolan Hutchison. I say Alex Robert for some reason. Here's Holtrop, snapshot, handcuffed Richardson a little bit, but he got enough to keep it out. Here's Leduc off the dot, another one comes in, that never made it to the net. But Holtrop finds the rebound. Leduc from the circle, that one Richardson got a piece of. And then another one thrown in. Spratt is there, roped in on the goal. They dig at it, Leduc through the crease and out the other side as we get a whistle. And then Leduc going at Fowler. And I think we're going to see a Queens power play.
Yeah, you can't rip a guy's helmet off. As Matthew Leduc, just, even in the NHL, you can't rip a guy's helmet off. That's the easiest penalty as you slash a guy to stick breaks.
Emotion getting the better of Devin Leduc, and he'll sit 2 or less, so we might have offsetting minors. Nope, just the one. And there it is as Leduc ripped the helmet off of Hayden Fowler, and so Queens to the power play. Overall, it has struggled this year, and it might be a little bit of predictability and repetitiveness, but as you mentioned earlier, Fraser, they changed the look on it, so maybe we will see a new option for the Gaels on this outing.
One big miss on the Gaels power play is Jonathan Dancis, former 50-goal man in the OHL, tore it up at the Fishu games, not in the lineup tonight. Usually he's on the first unit.
So time at the Tampa Bay Lightning development camp, if my memory serves me correctly.
Los Angeles Kings.
Sorry, Los Angeles Kings, and then
Richardson went to Tampa.
Yes, I knew there were 2 Gaels, and I think Richardson also was at Boston's as well back in the day. High shot from Longo missed, and now it'll be pulled in by Fowler off the left circle. Fed across the dots, there's Longo with the one-timer. Maya Peace had no idea where it went, but luckily for him, out of play, and another draw on the way. And here we're seeing that change that you talked about earlier, Fraser, with Longo on the one-time side and being the guy to fire.
Yeah, Longo has got a great shot if he can get it off. Now they change it up. Catsley now back on the top unit.
You know a guy who knows a thing or two about firing those heavy shots? Assistant coach Patrick Sanvito. It's good to see him back there. And that's one of the things both of these programs have done a good job at, is relying on alumni to step in assistant roles.
Absolutely. The Gaels have had a bunch of good ones. They've had Kevin Bailey and Spencer Abraham, Braden Mercier, and now Patrick Sanvito.
And off the top of my head for the RMC Paladins, they've had Liam Murray, Nick Boddy, Alex Pym, and that's just off the top of my head right
Eric
now.
Lalonde.
Eric Lalonde as well, that's correct.
Matthew Bearns, the goaltending coach.
So alumni draped all over their respective programs as that one comes towards the net, but never on, as Hutchison, I think, was the one to block it. Catsley, right circle. Back again at the blue line. Lalonde swings it to Fowler, who then returns it. Lalonde to Katzele. Back to Lalonde. One time in there, never on net. As again, it hit a body in front and went wide. And then that allows RMC to get the rebound. And they'll send it down ice, leaving just 30 seconds to go in this power play. Curtis through center ice. Can he slice through? He'll find it. Curtis back to the blue line. Arriving late was Paquette. Gave it for Perrick. High shot blocker saved by netminder Joey May. In the slot, RMC covering. Down ice it goes. 10 seconds left. Now comes Richardson. Backhand. Gives it to Perrick. Time for a rush up ice if they're quick, and they try it. Cranford from Perrick, in the shot not on mark. So another power play held in check. Neither team really able to do much with the man advantage so far this evening. Here the Paladins. Tsukamoto to Broaders. Towards the net, not on. Tsukamoto finds the rebound. Left it in that right corner. Duncan Campbell, bank pass. Goes back to the blue line, missed everybody. Down ice, it travels. Past the midpoint of the third, we are tied at 1. RMC Queens, 35th edition of the Carr-Harris Cup. Started back in 1986 to mark the 100th anniversary of the first game between these two in the Kingston Harbor. Lenny scored the only goal in that game way back in 1886. Duff flattens Austin Saint there as the Paladins come over the blue line.
That's going to be the 5th or 6th big hit thrown by the Duff man, Jack Duff.
Erie misses him on their blue line. The former Otter captain here. Another look at his body, pun intended, of work. Campbell against Spratt again. Benches being shortened for both teams, and it makes sense when you think about it. Queens, they got to win to keep their playoff hopes alive. A point does them no good. They need 2. Off of Holtrop to the boards. Spratt swats at it. Nothing else comes about, and now Hotchkiss to Duff. Right wing side, Cranford. Off balance shot, missed the net. That one will careen back to the Gaels line. Bratney. Duff takes it from there. Long pass ahead. Cranford over the blue line. Oncoming is Duff. Shot missed, not by much on the blocker side. And then the second one he put right into the armor of Joey May.
Jack Duff doing all he can tonight.
Perrick into the body of Hotchkiss. And then Hotchkiss run into by Joel Holtrop, so that was troublesome. Now Curtis. Josh Curtis dropped it. Katzele who fires it in. And as Joey May makes that save, they start the wave inside Leon Center.
Who doesn't love the wave? It's almost the point of the game. If we were in Colorado, we start playing all the small things.
It's true. We're almost there, and the wave is going strong here at the Leon Center. I have not heard an announced attendance yet. RMC with control off of that drop. Lobbed out, hit with a high stick. Perrick will touch it, so that's waved off. He banks it off the end boards, then the net. Here's Longo. Twists out of trouble. Back to Perrick. Whiffed on his pass, but did get it up. Now it finds a home on the stick of Matthew Hebert. Former Lindsay Muskie captain to Noble, and then up the right wing side. Murray keeps that one and fires it in. Through his legs, Luke Richardson played it for Longo. Josh Curtis back to Katzele. 7 minutes to go here in the third period. Time ticking away for the Gaels. Big hit on Katzele. The puck right down the middle for Murray. Still has it. Can he feed it through? Paquette just clogged up the lane, and now he will be the one that will take it. Up ice finds Hutchison. Run into by McNaughton there as he stood him up at center. May on his forehand, hard around the dasher. Duff tried to kick it, rolled past him. Paquette's there to help out his defense partner. Here's Paquette up the left wing. Rolls all the way down. Will it be an icing charge? It is indeed.
And the puck careened off the top of the yellow dasher on the boards and right past the RMC defender who never touched it.
So back down we go to our left with 6:31 to go. A look at Nolan Hutchison. Hayden Fowler, Alex Robert, Jack Duff. Big tall defenseman. He's hard to miss out there. Saw himself get an amateur tryout contract last year, was it, with Wilkes-Barre Scranton?
Yeah, that's right, in the COVID times.
Yeah. So nice to see the local kids get a look as the Gaels whistled for icing again.
Of course, former Gael Jaden Lindo in the Pittsburgh organization, doing a lot of community outreach in the Pittsburgh area.
Absolutely great story there, Jaden Lindo. He came to Queens and made the most of his opportunity, now working for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Out at center, gloved ahead by Coltart and then dumped off. I would expect some real basic hockey from RMC right now. They don't want any turnovers at the blue lines. And so that just comes back to playing simple, smart hockey. Towards the net, Rowe tried to get it, could not as he overskates it. And then Larrabee back to it, put it right on the tape of Alex Robert. Out to Hutchison, soft dump in. The only forechecker is Hayden Fowler as the Gaels start a change. Here they'll whip it back to Cranford, who was coming through. It hit the backside of him, and the Paladins are up. Holtrop dropping the shoulder, but Bratney kept him at a distance. Pass missed Watt the right point. He'll race back to get it. Noah Rowe from center, slapped in and around the outside. Campbell up to his stick. Now to Bratney. Flipped out to center ice. Bouncing puck from his knees. Rowe got it. Played it right up, and then Bratney will take it and feed Ryan Cranford. Nice display of one-touch passing from the Gaels there as Lalonde had it. Trying to take a grab with it was the mitt of May, and instead it took an alternate route. There, Broaders from his knees trying to make a play. No glove pass, they say. Behind the goal line, Cranford played it to himself. There's Waugh on him, though. For support, Duncan Campbell, the other 11. Brent Broaders on him. Campbell in. That one's chopped down and then went wide right. Back up ice, Lalonde to Duff. Paladins sneak a change in. That'll be deflected by Cranford. Out comes May. 4.5 on the clock. Third period, 1-1. Queens and RMC. Annual Carr-Harris Cup game here at the Leon Center. Alan Etmansky along with Fraser McAlpine. Left circle, Wells to Murray and then down ice. Paquette for Josh Curtis, hits the trailer and Cancele tried to go to the left side. It's broken up and fed the other way. Duart was the one coming through on the left wing, and that could have been dangerous if the pass got there. Near side of the ice, Curtis whiffed on his outlet. Now it's back for Duff. To Paquette, little stutter step there as he might have hit a rut. Still battles through, puck rolls just outside the blue line, so out of danger for the time being. Left wing to Austin Saint, kicked up to his stick. There's Larrabee, quick shot, but closing on him was Jacob Bratney at the last second. Hutchison to the boards. Tried to kill some time. Austin Saint, Bratney on him. Now Saint dug it free. That's Hebert off the line to Saint. Fowler on him, quick shot, blocked. Back to the RMC blue line. Coltart wants an outlet, got it. Fed it across in the zone to Hebert. He's tripped up by Hutchison, and a late power play coming the Paladins' way as May to the bench. Coltart shot stopped by Richardson, touched by Barrick. Not a good time for a stick to get under a skate there.
No, and especially if it's Nolan Hutchison, who's been probably the best penalty killer all year for the Gaels. He's had many, many shorthanded goals, so if you're going to kill a penalty, having Hutchison in the box is not a good thing.
Nolan Hutchison tripping is the call, and RMC to a fourth power play this evening. They have not been able to muster much as they get the one-timer from Spratton and missed on the blocker side of the net. The captain Rowe with it. Down to the baseline, Larrabee. He's pinned in there by Paquette. Now they get numbers to try to dig this away, and pressure from RMC trying to expose the Gaels. Back to the line, Spratt will take a walk, middle of it. He sets up, slides the pass across. Larrabee and Smith are in front. Spratt, Rowe, and Broaders across the top of the umbrella.
I didn't miss by much.
Rowe back to the line. Spratt wanted the one-timer, didn't like it, so we'll give it right back. Rowe, down low, one-touch pass, and it missed Smith, and out with it is Campbell, trying to spring Cousins down ice, and Spratt will pull that one in. Can he wheel it up ice? He's going to try. Spratt with Cousins on him. Gets away from that check and comes in. Lost the puck in the process, though. Rolling biscuit. It's plucked off. Here come the Paladins in the corner. Finding it Longo for the Gaels. Tsukamoto on him quickly, though. Flipped out. Inside of a minute to go in the power play. And the Gaels trying to kill this one off for Nolan Hutchison. Matthew Hebert, Tsukamoto, and then in. Pascal's on the left wing. Bratney on him, takes him into the corner. It's a 3-on-3 battle right now. Each team with 3 in there, and they get nowhere, so referee Wanamaker says, hey, we're going to drop the puck and restart this.
Good job by the Gaels just to play a little defense. Make sure Richardson sees everything. Got a minute 28 left. Got to survive the next 26 seconds and then see what you do in the last minute.
Not a thing wrong with that at all. Just kill down the seconds and then try to be opportunistic.
I would love to see the stats on the ice time that Jacob Paquette and Jack Duff have had. Every time I look, they're on the ice.
You mean you guys don't have trackers on them? Come on.
We have an iPad that I had to fix earlier before the game, but I don't have it with me right now, Alan. I wish I did, but on my Siva here, they've had 21 shifts together.
So that's almost 30 minutes off my mind, doing some quick math there.
At least you got to be in great shape to play 30 minutes of contact hockey.
Not an easy night for those two. Down to 10 seconds of power play time left for the Paladins as Campbell forces the issue. Now Alex Robert will break off the right wing. At the circle, here's Austin Saint with it. Minute to go. Hutchison out of the box. This one will be flipped into the Gaels bench and out of play.
So step one done by the Gaels to get Hutchison back on the ice. He's an important player for the tricolor.
Overtime looming. For those tuning in for the first time, overtime in the OUA, 3-on-3 for 7 minutes.
There hasn't been an overtime game in the Carr-Harris's Darcy Greenaway's goal in the 2018 game, which he was happy to throw on his Instagram earlier.
I still remember that. He wheeled it end to end, cut through center, and then in front.
Yeah, this place exploded.
It was loud in here. I think 4,000 on hand for that one. McNaughton closes in quickly on Hutchison, cleared down ice. Slapped to the left wing side, played in by Murray. Holtrop on Paquette, into the boards they go. Down is Paquette. The Gaels have it though, and that's all they care about. Hayden Fowler over the blue line, pulled back by Cole Noble. The captain row through the middle. McNaughton couldn't drag around Hutchison, dumped it back in by Queens. 20 seconds to go. In the corner, up ahead, Will Murray had it get away from him. Lalonde, little shovel one-timer to skating through Josh Curtis. Dumped back in again by the Queens Gaels. Noble on Curtis in the corner. Katzele finds it, but time will expire, and we are headed to 3-on-3 in the 35th edition of the Carr-Harris Cup. How fitting in this game's return.
Owen Lalonde almost didn't send it to overtime. If he had just a clean touch of that puck, it'd be a great chance for a buzzer beater, but you know, the way those two teams have played each other tonight, this deserves an extra 7 minutes or less.
So 7 minutes of 3-on-3 is going to be exciting between two of the oldest rivals in the sporting world, definitely in the hockey world. Both teams dog tired, but you got to think that RMC's Joey May would be the tiredest. Is that a word? Most tired? Tiredest? I'm making it a word.
We're tired.
49 shots his way, 48 saves, 23 shots the way of Luke Richardson, 22 stops. And you look at that number for Luke Richardson, it's not a huge number, but there were some massive stops that he had to make in this one.
He absolutely had to make massive stops. That one toe save to keep it at 1-0 was huge. It was 10 bell chances that you don't get off your day, and Luke Richardson had to stand tall.
So they'll split at least a point each.
Again, the Gaels need the win. They can't lose at all.
So a loss does Queens no favors. They have to win. And to start in overtime, they will go with Paquette, Campbell, and Hutchison. RMC will counter with Spratt, Leduc, and Noah Rowe. Luke Richardson to our right, Joey May to our left. As the teams switch ends for overtime, creating that long change and hopefully a decision. Campbell against Spratt. We're underway for overtime here in the 35th Carr-Harris Cup. Noah Rowe will carry and then knock it back to Spratt.
The last time RMC played overtime in this building, they beat the Army West Point Black Knights on a goal by, was it Cole Noble?
I believe you are correct.
I was at that game. I believe Cole Noble scored, and he's playing tonight, so we'll see if he has that magic again.
Spratt to Rowe. And the whole key in 3-on-3 is to not turn it over and hold on to it for your opportunities. Here RMC's Isaac Pascal will wade in over the line, hits Austin St. in the high slot, ripped it, didn't miss by much on the blocker side. Hot rebound out in the slot. Stick of Perrick was tied up and then it's turned over. Isaac Pascal with it. He'll rip one in, that square in the quest on Luke Richardson's jersey. So early advantage, RMC.
Nervous time there. I couldn't see. I have a camera guy in the way, so I was listening to everyone's expression, but Luke Richardson comes up huge on an Austin St. shot. And Isaac Pascal, another Kingston boy, puts it right in the queue.
Two chances for the Paladins here as they would love to end this. Duff off the face-off, back behind his own net, will carry it to the left side. Now he's got the feet going. He'll carry and drop it back. Hayden Fowler to the right wing. Off the circle, the stick of Matthew Hebert will cause that to ride into the netting, so another draw coming up.
Hayden Fowler been rather quiet tonight. Usually he's one of those players that, he has quiet nights, and you look at the game sheet, he's got 3 points.
Face-off will be left of the RMC net. Fowler wins it. It's back for Duff. Alex Robert, one-timer, big stop by May, and the rebound to Duff. May's battling to get it. They stab at it, they score!
Alex Robert keeps the Gaels playoffs hope alive.
A goalmouth scramble, the puck's still alive, and the Gaels play to the whistle, and that whistle comes off of a game winner from Alex Robert. 1:16 into overtime as the Gaels keep the playoff push alive and well heading into this weekend's action.
Alex Robert has played all well for the season. If you're a young hockey fan, you have to watch Alex Robert play to learn how to stay in the lineup. Alex Robert was cut from his OHL team, the Battalion. He was cut as the best player on the Nevangras, came to Queens, worked his way up the lineup. This goal is all the hard work that Alex Robert has put in his 2 years with the Queens Gaels, and he's rewarded with it.
5th goal of the season for Alex Robert is a massive one as he keeps the playoff push alive for the Queens Gaels. The Ottawa, Ontario kid knocked it past Joey May, who made the first stop, who you really have to feel for in this game.
Joey May did everything. He stopped everything, including the kitchen sink tonight. And that goal was not his fault. Again, I said, Gaels have to cause scrambles in front. Joey May is going to make those saves. Alex Robert is Johnny on the spot and bangs it home.
So yet again, the Carr-Harris Cup delivers in a big way. Overtime needed, and it's a Queens Gaels 2-1 win on the shot clock, 52-24 for Queens. But the score is the only thing that matters, and tonight they are on the right end of it. 2-1, the Queens Gaels down the RMC Paladins in the 35th edition of the Carr-Harris Cup. Thanks for joining me, Fraser.
Thanks, Al. It's great to work with you again. I missed your time on the V's with you, me, and Christian Carrier.
Long way from the Invista Center as we're here bringing this to all of our viewers on OUA TV and CBC Sports, but it has been an absolute pleasure as we say goodnight from Kingston for another edition of the Carr-Harris Cup picture.
The most valuable players from both teams are presented with the Mary Carr-Harris Trophy and are given the ice block memento courtesy of the original Hockey Hall of Fame. Here to present the trophy is the Vice President of the original Hockey Hall of Fame, Paul Cridlin. Joining Paul to present the MVP from each team with their ice blocks is Vice Provost and Dean Student Affairs Ann Tierney from Queen's University, and from the Royal Military College of Canada, Commandant Commodore Josie Kurtz, and College Chief Warrant Officer Lucy Allain from the Royal Military College of Canada. The MVP for RMC, with 50 saves of the night, number 34, Joey May. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pierce Carr-Harris and Richard Hilkma, great-grandsons of Peter Carr-Harris, who will present the Carr-Harris Cup to the Queens Gaels. I would now call upon the captains of the Queens Gaels to accept the Carr-Harris Cup. Congratulations on a great game. And thank you for attending the 35th Annual Carr-Harris Cup. Thank you to all of the sponsors and supporters for such a great event. Please get home safely.